Now, the first tool for monitoring students. Question. Now, when students are silent, they are like a blank screen. You cannot ascertain what they are thinking or what they are learning. So, the instructional strategy should be designed to invite more of a response to create dialogue with the students. Some of the following strategy can be incorporated while designing subject delivery, and in this questions are most valuable when students respond correctly or incorrectly, because their response encourage student engagement, demonstrate student understanding or misconception, and further the discussion. So as teachers we might have discovered that some of our questions receives very little response. Yes. Now there is a name here, Madeline Hunter say, and next we have Lipton and Wellman say. Now what they have to say. Madeline Hunter, the originator of checking for understanding, has identified three common types of ineffective question that some teachers use. Now what they use? Okay, the question assumes that student silence translates as okay and they understand the learning goal. Second, you all understand, don't you? Or you don't have any questions, right? Few students are willing to publicly admit that they do not understand. In fact, most of the students work hard to keep their teacher from discovering that they do not understand something. And the third says, now, any questions? Too often such a question carries the implication that if you do not have any questions, you obviously were not listening. So, a good way to increase students' response would be to change the style of questioning. Some of your questions can get more response than others. Lipton and Willman offer some suggestions for making questions more inviting to answer. Now, first, invitation to think, which consists of your use of having an approachable voice. Raise your voice at the end to indicate a question. Use plural forms. Asks what are reasons for instead of what is a reason for. Plural form indicates that there are multiple right answers and therefore invite the students to respond. Using exploratory language, use might, some, and could, such as what might be the cause of or what are some possible explanations. Next, as teachers, we can use open-ended forms also, like use question words like how, why, what are some other, that encourage students to widen their thinking. Next, starting with positive preliminary statements. Now, what these preliminary statements could be, ask, as you examine the map, what are some of the details you are noticing? Or reflect on the following and compare your thinking today to your thinking about this topic last week. What are some similarities and differences that are emerging? Avoid starters like have you, can you, did you, or who knows. We should not use this at all as teachers. Next, cognition. Now, select thinking verbs that represent Bloom's level of thinking that you expect of the students, such as state, synthesize, evaluate, formulate, design, recommend, justify, etc. Use these verbs in your statements and questions.